everybody. You're watching the Monica Makes It Happen show. It's our Money Matters Monday show, which I love because, well, I always say money matters. It really does. And we're finally talking about it. We're fighting for it. For 10 years, we've focused on housing. Now we're focusing on everything. Your communities matter to us. And we know that it's all about funding. And what I love about this show is we have so many great friendships and partnerships. And one of our friendships, a friend of the show, is GoFundMe, and their team brought this beautiful woman to my attention and her organization. Hello, Michelle Giancola is joining us, the founder of Kiso's Pet Food Pantry. Now, nice to have you on the show, Michelle.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you for inviting us here, or me here, to talk about Kisos.
I know it's such a passion project for you, but it's more than that. You're changing your neighborhood, you're changing lives. And our fur babies, I call them our fur babies, are sometimes, well, they are members of our family and we care about them so very much. And what you've done is it's all about love, really, and about dignity for so many of our older New Yorkers. And so, first off, you have this incredible organization for 3 years that's been really saving the lives of our pets. Specifically, we know affordability has been a problem. And I firsthand have meet people every day who say they can't afford their pets and it's breaking their heart. So they have to make painful decisions based on that. Sometimes feeding themselves maybe last, feeding the puppy or the kitten first and then feeding themselves. I've seen that firsthand. Or stopping not even eating for a week to pay for an operation for their loved one. Now, with you, you started this organization. I want you to tell us that story about why is it named Kisos?
Okay, so a long time ago, I found a puppy on the side of the road, and I thought he was dead. I was just staring at him, trying to figure out what I should do, when a bunch of kids came running along and they jumped over him. And when they jumped over him, he woke up and he started running around, and he still had a collar and a leash on. So I grabbed hold of him. He was super friendly. Nobody seemed to know him. We walked up and down the side of the highway. So I took him home. He came home with me. We put up signs. Nobody wanted him. So he joined my family. And I started dreaming all the time about him getting hit by a car. And one night, nobody was out, and I was walking him with a friend, and he got hit by a car. I dropped the leash. He ran across the street to see another dog because he was super friendly. And this car that was, thank God, moving very slowly hit him. He disappeared under the car. Everything went silent, like a movie. And suddenly, he made one bark and started to try to pull himself out from under the car. So my friend then tried to push the car off of him. We weren't very nice. We forced the people driving the car to bring us to the emergency room for him. Yeah. They were freaked out. They were much older. And there was blood all over us, blood all over the car. We rushed him into the emergency vet. And it turned out they had to amputate one of his back legs because it was completely crushed. He stayed in the hospital for 3 days. And at the time, I lived on the 3rd floor. When I got home, I went to bring him into the elevator, and he looked at me. Then he looked at the stairs, and he just ran up the 3 flights of stairs. And he never looked back. And he became kind of a famous dog in my neighborhood. And because he was super friendly, he loved people. And still, just yesterday, I ran into someone on the street who asked me about him. And for years, not years, but occasionally I do run into people and they cry when I tell them that he's gone. But he'd be like 25 now if he was still around. So it was his time. He was a great dog. And actually, I found out many years later that his name, this old guy, seems to be a theme here, this old guy, old Greek man that I knew, named him. He didn't like any of the names I had for him. So one day when I saw him, he said, "Kiso, my friend." And I found out from another neighbor many years later that in Greek, It's Kitsos. And apparently Kitsos was a leader of Greece, and he was
Oh.
very well loved by the people. And they said he had a lot of guts. And that was Kiso. He had a lot of guts.
I love that story. And I love that you turned that name into such a beautiful thing for so many hundreds, possibly thousands of pets in your community, which we're hoping to expand. And that's what this show is all about. You need funding to keep this
Yeah.
incredible work going. So tell me again about the organization. Give me the stats. You have this beautiful place, and it started also with the pastor, right?
Yes. I had my current dog is Bear, and I brought him and my mom to the Blessing of the Animals at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, which was about 5 blocks away from my mom.
And that's in
And
Bay Ridge, right? Bay
in Bay
Ridge?
Ridge, Brooklyn,
Okay,
yeah,
love Bay
75th
Ridge.
and 4th. And after I knew that this was a church and this was a pastor that was always giving back to the community. During COVID, I would drive by and see lines around the block twice a week for their food pantry, which still continues to this day. So after the blessing, I said to him, any chance you would consider doing a pet food pantry for seniors? He looked at me and he said, why not? Let's go. And the next month we had our first pantry, which was not for seniors, it was for anyone. And we did a few of those. And then that following April, we did our first pantry for only seniors. They signed up, they came, they got a big bag of food, which lasted probably 2 weeks. And we're continuing to do it since then. And that first pantry, I just looked at the stats yesterday, and we had about 58 seniors show up.
Wow.
And now now we average about 80 to 100. Usually 60 will sign up, and then the rest are walk-ups.
Yeah. Word of mouth goes pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because I know I've been to so many pantries where they have sometimes dog food, sometimes they don't. That's why I'm doing the show, is that you don't think of the animals. You always think of people. And that, I guess that's the way it should be. But it's heartbreaking because, especially with older New Yorkers, their animals are their only companions and their lifelines to feeling loved. It's all about love, right? And when you think about it, when I met that senior, specifically that older New Yorker in a nightshade development, and you know, I told you this story. It was like a 15-year-old dog wearing this cute little sweater out there, freezing, and she was walking the dog, and she told me, we just started talking, and she said, he's very sick, but I don't. It's $1,000 for the operation. So what I decided is I'm not gonna eat, and then I'm gonna pay for that operation. And I was just like, I know she's not alone. I know she's not alone. And then I went to another pantry because I do a lot of food insecurity stories here at Pix 11. And there was a man holding a Chihuahua in the line, and I started talking with him, and then he said to me, I'll eat one bite and then I'll give the Chihuahua the other bite. And then I'll eat one bite. And then, so it's like he's rationing out food with this Chihuahua. And then I said, can I talk to you on camera? Because, I want to tell your story, and I want to help this pantry. And he said, no, he had this incredible shame about it. And so that's always an issue with some of my viewers. And I get it. I totally get it. Food insecurity. I have some of that in my background as well. So you don't always want to advertise and say, I need help, especially our older New Yorkers. They want to live with integrity and dignity. So it's hard to tell these stories. I'm hoping we can with your partnership. I'm hoping. But can you tell me about some of these stories that you're hearing?
Yes, I do want to your point though, first, is that's exactly why we started this. We knew that the statistics were that there are seniors out there who share their meals with their pets. And that means that neither of them are getting what they need to be healthy and to survive. So that was the main reason that we started this. We wanted to help them to be able to keep their pets, not have to surrender them, and to feed them. So we have some homebound people, and they're the ones that really suffer the most because they have to rely on other people to bring food in. And we do deliver to a few of those seniors, and most of them are women. I'm not sure if that's because the men are all dying off or if they would rather not say anything
Yeah.
and just share their food. I'm not really sure. We haven't figured that out yet. But we have one senior who lives in Sunset Park who is really amazing. She has lots of physical issues. She has two cats, and with her neighbor, who is also elderly, they feed the stray cats on the street. So they're trying to feed their own cats, feed the cats on the street, and they really struggle to do that. So by bringing her food, she is able to continue to, eat herself and not have to worry about going out in this crazy weather to try and get food for these two that
And,
she loves.
and so, Michelle, I want to go to a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk
Mhm.
about the pop-ups, what, the actual services that you do and what your dream of doing is, we need partnerships for that. That's after the
Mhm.
commercial break, and more stories about our
Sounds
fur
good.
babies. All right, we're back with Michelle Giancola, the founder of Kiso's Pet Food Pantry, and it's all about compassion, empathy, and action, which we love. Okay, so tell me about this incredible pantry, and it's in Bay Ridge. Started again in the name of Kiso, who was the most gutsy dog we've ever heard of. We heard the story in the first 5 to 10 minutes of this show if you missed it or fast forwarding. But tell me about this service that you do now for the older New Yorkers. You've got quite a group that shows up every single, is it month or every 3 months?
We do for just seniors every 3 months, and they do sign up so that they know when they come they will get a bag of food. And then we do pop ups in between about once every month or every 2 months, depending on how much food we've gotten in that time. And anyone is welcome there, but we do give seniors the priority for those events as well.
Because they're on fixed
And
incomes and they really need this help. And then you said it turned into like neighbors helping neighbors. Then there's neighbors that have and they leave. Tell me about that.
so a lot of people in the community have just donated food, especially when their pets have died. They'll bring it to us, which is great. But other seniors, they will donate food to us or stuffed animals for other people's dogs, or they like to bring us biscotti, which is nice. All the volunteers like that.
Yeah.
So they always want to give us money, which we will never take money from a senior, but they're always offering us money because they are so happy to get this food, but it kind of defeats the purpose if we
No,
were to
I know
take
what you're
their money.
saying. There's so much pride. I
Mhm,
get that. I've done a lot of
mhm,
food insecurity stories in all senior buildings, all older New Yorker
mhm,
buildings, and each time they will never say that they don't have any food, and then I'll go in their home and I'll always check
mhm.
the fridge. I'll just look and say, "Oh, you need some help." And then they'll say, "Oh, yeah." I said, "There's nothing in there." And they'll say, "Oh, yeah, I can't grocery shop right now." And I said, "Okay, we got to fix that."
Yeah.
And that happens
Mhm.
all the time. Understandably. But what I love about these pop-ups, it really is neighbors helping neighbors, but you need a little bit more help than that to keep this going because the need is growing, right? We have
It is.
growing number of seniors with these pets. So what can we do? If someone's watching, what can we do?
Well, volunteering is great. We people that have cars that might be interested in helping to make some drop-offs to those seniors that are homebound, because sometimes we are not able to get to them right away. And again, we've had this crazy snowstorm, and there's one senior that's been signed up with us since the very beginning. So we've delivered to her about 4 times, and she's been calling me for the past maybe 2 or 3 months just to check in. Oh, remind me when the pantry is, and we'll have a chat about her dogs. And she has two dogs of her own. She just took in her daughter's dog, who also is a senior. So now she has 3 dogs. She's unable to get out of the house. And every conversation ends with, well, how much food how much longer will your food last? The pet food.
Yeah.
And when she called me a couple of days ago, she said, when are you coming? And I said, well, my car's snowed in. Your food's in in my car, but I can't move my
Oh
car.
my
So
gosh.
as soon as I can move my car, I'm going to bring it. But how much longer can you go? And she said, I think I have enough food for a week. So for her, now she's getting towards the end of her food and getting nervous for them because she
I
needs the
love
help.
that you do this, and it's so needed. And I'm sure someone watching, I always say it's magic when we send these links to our partners or just
Mhm.
put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, then people just come out of the woodwork to help. When I first started this series of Monica Makes It Happen, I had a lot of people who are like, you know, it's not gonna it's these are hard times and you're not gonna get it's the opposite. It's almost like something magical happens when you put it out there, and maybe it's the collection of the best viewers in the world that we have over these past 10 years every day of meeting all these incredible people
Mhm.
that want to do some work and want to help. So I have a good feeling. When we come back, we're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk again about what the needs are, what you can do to help, because these stories are
Mhm.
killing me. Okay, Michelle, they're killing me. So I'm sure our viewers are getting upset as well. And what the
Yeah.
mission, again, how we can help expand the program to meet the needs of the
Mhm.
community that Michelle is doing. Thank you, Michelle, for
Thank
just existing. We just adore you. And that's
you.
after the commercial break. I'm back with Kiso's owner. Is that your title? I know it's the founder of this incredible organization, but you'll always be Kiso's owner. And you've
Yeah.
used his name to now, I guess it's famous. Now it's famous. Kiso's Pet Food Pantry. Can't say it enough. If you want to go
Yeah.
to Kiso's Pet Food, is it .com or how do you have
Org.
a dot
It's org.
.org?
KisosPetFoodPantry.org.
I should
Yeah.
know that by now. And then do you have what social media? What kind of social media stuff do you
So
have?
we're on Instagram and Facebook. Instagram is Kiso's Pet Food Pantry NY, and
Okay,
Facebook is Kiso's Pet Food Pantry.
so put the NY if you're on Instagram, and that's a good way to
Instagram.
reach you. But if we want to volunteer, I have a feeling people are going to want to volunteer or give money. Thank you, GoFundMe, for bringing this story to my attention. What do we do?
Yes. So volunteers can email us. I think that's the easiest way to keep track of people. Simple. Kiso's Pet Food Pantry at Gmail.
Okay, that's easy. Kiso's Pet
Yeah.
Food Pantry
At Gmail.
at Gmail. Got it. And
Mhm.
then how do they give?
We have actually an Amazon wish list. So if people want to send just food, and the thing we need the most is always cat food.
Really?
Yeah. So this last pantry, I think there were 120 cats total and about 56 dogs. So a lot of cats.
So 120 cats and 56 dogs. And then we know there's the
Right.
3 dogs that are waiting for that bag of food that you're hopefully going to deliver, but the snowstorm is keeping, I didn't even think of that. Of course it's keeping you
Yeah.
from doing your deliveries, which by the way, you really need help with the deliveries too. So if the volunteers are listening, that could help immediately in our sweet spot of Bay Ridge. We love Bay Ridge and our viewers in
Yes.
Bay Ridge. So what's the dream here? Like I always want to make something happen. Let's say it, let's
Mhm.
manifest it. What's your dream partner?
Good question. So we would definitely like to partner for cat food, pet food. Yeah, pet food. There's a couple of companies that their food is maybe a little bit higher grade or better quality for the animals. Companies like Dave's. Weruva has two lines that we love. One is Cats in the Kitchen and one is OMG. The reason we like those because they're good transition foods for someone that's feeding their cat Fancy Feast all the time. No disrespect to Fancy Feast. It has taken a lot of cats really far, and most of our seniors are happy to get that.
Yes.
So if Fancy Feast wants to partner with us, we would love to partner with Fancy Feast.
Oh, okay. Fancy Feast. We're getting fancy. I
Yeah,
love that. And then the
yeah,
GoFundMe, what we can find
yeah,
the GoFundMe on your Instagram as well, right?
yes,
And I can share that
yeah,
as well. We love
and the
that.
Amazon wish list,
And the
and
Amazon.
and
You're making it so
wish
easy
list.
for us to help. And then email with volunteers. We just need to know the all, because I have a feeling whenever we put this out there, especially with
Mhm,
dogs and cats. I did a story once on a dog, and this was, gosh, I want to say 12 to 14 years ago. I
mhm.
still get emails checking in. I still get that in my bike lane stories. I get
I
so
love it.
much. I mean, it's just for years that just stay, and we
Mhm.
stay with our viewers, so it's a relationship. So I hope you don't mind, Michelle. We are attached at the hip now, um,
I love it.
and I put it in my I guess on the cosmos or something in my mind. I said I really really want to, because I knew that this was happening because I was going to so
Mhm,
many pantries doing
mhm,
families and food insecurity, and I knew that our dogs were hurting. And then a quick story with my son. I take him to the
mhm,
common pantry on the weekends to volunteer, and I love the New York Common Pantry. It's by our home in East Harlem. So when we go, they have dog food, right? But let me tell you, the supply goes down pretty quickly because a lot of these families have pets, of course, and they love their
yeah,
pets and their family members. So they always have a limitation of what they can give, right? Because they have a
mhm,
limited
mhm.
supply. And my son is always like, "Oh, he wants to give so much to the little puppies that come that are in the line." And I always tell him, I said, there's so many people in need, and hopefully we'll live in a world where we'll have enough for everybody, right? It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like one bag, it should be enough for
Yeah,
all dogs and cats to live and live happily. Right.
yeah. We even have to limit the food that we give because there's so many people coming.
And again, it's every 3 months, but you have pop-ups, and if people wanna know when they are, if they live in Bay Ridge,
Yes.
they can go to your Instagram. Is how
Mhm.
how how much time do you, do you announce these pop-ups, or is it kind of like a day in advance,
Mhm.
or
It could be as much as a week in advance. That we will post it. Our next one is the last Saturday of February
you know
from
what I
12:30 to 2.
oh, when is it? Say it one more time.
The last Saturday in February,
Last Saturday in
and it'll
February,
be from 12:30 to 2.
and it's 12:30 to 2. And again, where?
Mhm. Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, 7420 Fourth Avenue in Bay Ridge.
Could you text me that? I'm gonna put that on my social media. I'm gonna take a picture,
I
and
will.
so don't go anywhere after the show because I'm gonna take a picture and we're gonna post that, because I have a
Cool.
feeling people are gonna wanna know about that, and then if they wanna meet you too, maybe, and volunteer, that would be great as
That
well.
would be great.
I just thought
You
of
know,
this. I have a
yeah.
contact. I did a story about this phenomenal
Mhm.
dog at a hospital, therapy dog, and it was, I think it was sponsored by Chewy. So I do have those contacts. Chewy would be great too, right, wouldn't it? Oh, we
Chewy would be
love
great.
Chewy. So,
Chewy would be great.
we're working on it. My mind is spinning right now, and the old Rolodex in there is working. So any final thoughts? I always like to end with hope for our viewers.
Well, I do want to say that even though we started with the intention only to serve South Brooklyn, we have people coming from the Bronx on a regular basis.
Wow.
South Brooklyn, Marine Park, Coney Island, Diker, Sunset Park. We're really, a lot of people are coming from all over the place now once we started to get out there. So there's a need, not just here in Bay Ridge or South Brooklyn. If anyone wants to start another one somewhere else, there is one in the Bronx, but the Bronx is huge. There
I
needs to
love
be more.
I love what you're saying because that's why we do these shows is we want people
Mhm,
to replicate ideas. We want, and a lot of times that happens. They'll say, God, I want to do that. You just opened
mhm,
up my imagination and my mind to something that a need in my neighborhood that I could completely replicate, like you said, and just follow Michelle. I want to be like
mhm.
Michelle. Michelle makes it happen. Uh-oh, a new show. Michelle makes it happen for our fur babies. Michelle, thank you so much. And we got to say thank you
Yeah,
to our friends at GoFundMe, Madison, You are the
Yes.
bomb.com. We love you so much. She always kind of flags great stories, but this one takes the cake because we love our animals. And to know these stories that you just told me, I wrote them down. The woman in Sunset Park, the woman with 3 dogs and her daughter. Again, fixed incomes, and it is the
Yes.
pets that hurt the most sometimes in these bad times.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it enough. So thank you so
No,
much again for taking the time, and we're going to be following up, continuing coverage on Kisos and Michelle. So
thank
thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Let's keep
Thank
making
you
it
for
happen together, okay?
definitely. Thank you for inviting me to talk about this, and love is motion. Remember that.
Love is motion. Let's keep making it happen together. See you next time.